I want to touch base a little bit on the FNP45T, among a few of the other FN products that are out there. FNP45T. I've fired a lot of 45s in my day. I've been fooling around in firearms since 69, 70. Became an instructor somewhere around 72 or so. And I'll tell you, out of all of them that I've fired and remember firing, the FNP45 is one of the smoothest, if not the smoothest, firing weapon I've fired. It is an excellent, excellent gun. It fits my hand like a glove. It does come with a few additional back straps for those who have a smaller hand. It has the Trigicon raised sights. It has the threaded barrel. The safety and hammer drop slide release is all ambidextrous. It's a hammer. It's not striker fire. The trigger on it is smooth, and it's right there. I mean, it's just, this gun is just a good all-around gun. It's hard for me to explain it in simple terms. All I can tell you is that it's a nice gun. If you have an opportunity of firing one, you should try it. Now, also with that being said, it's still a large gun, and it's still a 45. Now, I feel that it has a kick of a 9. If I was to compare this with my Beretta 92F, I would say they're about the same. So this gives me about the same kick as my 9mm. However, it's a larger frame, and for a smaller person or a female with a smaller hand, this is definitely not the weapon for them. A safe weapon is a weapon that's going to fit your hand properly, and one that you can fire comfortably without readjusting your grip every time you pull the trigger, and one that's going to allow you to recover quickly. If it keeps throwing you off balance and out of sync and your hand has to keep re-gripping, it's not the gun for you. A 45 caliber that you can't fire and can't hit your target with is no good. I would rather have a 9 or a 380 that I can hit my target with and fire comfortably. So you have to look at it that way. Alright, let's not listen to those people out there that have these firearms that think that the bigger the caliber, the better, and we gotta have it. We gotta have it. You gotta buy this one. No, you don't. You buy one that fits. Do your own homework. Be your own person, and buy what you're comfortable with, what you know you're going to be able to use. If you're not sure of it, don't use it. That's all there is to it. If you're not with a qualified instructor, and I'm not talking about an instructor that's been instructing for a week, 2 weeks, a year. I'm talking a long time lifer. If you're not with a qualified instructor to give you some pointers on a weapon before you fire it, don't fire it. That's all there is to it. All right, stick within your means. Don't let your husbands and boyfriends and friends talk you into firing something so they can sit back and laugh at you when you hurt yourself. All right. But with that being said, it's a great gun. Now, if it happens to be too big and you do want to stick with an FN, FN also makes them smaller. This is their FNS 9mm. I just picked this one up Thursday. Nice weapon, nice trigger, smaller in size, smaller in caliber. My wife actually likes this. She can handle it comfortably. It can be concealed comfortably. We live in Connecticut, so it's a concealed carry. And there's no problem with this particular firearm. It's ambidextrous on the controls, on both safety, hammer drop, slide release, mag release, everything. It's ambidextrous. And again, all of your FNs come with your Trijicon sights. This one has the night sights on it. The 45 has the raised sights, only because it has a threaded barrel, so if you want to put a can at the end, it'll get you over that. Plus it has a plate over here. If you wanted to take the plate off it and put a dot on there, you have the ability of doing so. I really don't know. I'm not a big believer in a lot of this stuff on your firearms, only because if all else fails, you're back to your old sights, the stock sights, iron sights, whatever you want to call them. So therefore, that's what I like to practice with. You know, except for, like I say, if you're at the rifle and you want to do some homework on a target, you know, and you want to run your scope, that's fine. But get used to the night sights, the factory sights as well. So at that point, so much for that. Now, for the Glock lovers, FN has come out with a striker fire like a Glock, but what they had done, and I like what they have done, because I'm not a big believer of Glock, all right? I'm not going to get into that right now. I'm just not a big believer in Glock. But, I mean, I have one, and I'm going to buy another one. I'm going to buy the new 4th generation. I've got the 35 there, and I'm going to buy the new 4th generation. I don't know which one just yet. Probably another 9 or another 40. I'm not sure. But I'm just not a big believer in them. I keep giving them a shot, pardon the pun, but, you know, I'm just not a big believer in them. But, however, the FN came out with a striker fire like the Glock, but what it has that the Glock hasn't is it has an additional safety, which is excellent. I like the FNS, the striker fire. Again, it's completely ambidextrous. It has the Trijicon sights. They come with a stainless slide or all black. Again, it's striker fire. It's got a trigger on it that's phenomenal. I mean, the trigger on this thing is just, you don't even know you're pulling it. It's smooth, and yet when you get to that point of impact, or release rather, it's right there. You know, it's just a good all-around gun. So if you're thinking of buying a Glock, or if you're a dedicated Glock, or thinking of making a change from a Glock, this is the one to do it with, because they make a 9 and a 40. Now again, this is a small, this is 9, it fits my wife's hand as well as mine. It comes with the different back straps. It's just a great all-around gun. So that's what I have to say about that. Now I also have their 5.7. The FN-57 is a very nice piece. However, even though I like everything about this gun, I like the forward safety. I think that's a great place for it. But because of all my training and muscle memory has always been with the thumb, this may be a problem if I were to carry it and got to a point to where it had to be used. I really don't know if I would remember the weapon, or am I going to start thinking of safeties and muscle memory here when all in fact it's there. If I was to carry it with the safety off, does that make a difference? Yeah, but it's also not safe. So there you go, guys. But that's the FN-57. This is a great piece. If you want to go to the range and you don't mind spending $1,000 for a gun just to have a real good time with, this is it. And I'm not saying it's not a gun to carry. Definitely carry if you want to, you know, it's a good gun for that, but just not for me. So, alright guys, I'm going to back off for now. I got a bunch of things to do. Catch you later.